Welcome to the podcast, and today we have the honor of interviewing something called an extremophile. Extremophile are life forms on Earth that can live in environments that we would deem lethal to human beings. The extremophile that we have the privilege and honor of interviewing today is called Thermococcus gametolerans. Welcome. Hi, it's honestly a great honor to be here, and I'm really excited to give you an insight, but also the audience an insight on what extremophiles are, but specifically what I am, Thermococcus gametolerans. We've honestly been waiting to have you on, and we're super excited to be able to talk to you. But before we get into anything, why don't you just give the audience a little bit of an understanding as to what you really are? Yeah, so my name is Thermococcus gametolerans. I'm a hypothermophilic archaeon, and I was actually found in Mexico. In terms of where I live, well, you can find me in hypothermal vents. But if we wanted to get into specifics as to where I live, you can actually find me in deep sea vents that are really, really hot. Wow, that's really interesting. And one thing that was actually on my mind is I want to know what makes your life form so extreme. Yeah, for sure. So one thing that's actually allowed for me to fall under the extremophile umbrella is my thermophilic nature. So I actually thrive in extremely high temperatures, and I actually grow in temperatures that are around 88 degrees Celsius, and my maximum growth can range from anywhere between 90 degrees to 95 degrees Celsius. Another thing that strikes my mind is my radiation tolerance. I actually experience an extraordinary resistance to gamma radiation, upwards to numbers such as 30 kilograms. And just to give you an understanding of how much that is, you as a human being, you can actually only tolerate a few kilograms before something very lethal happens to you, which really shows how extreme I am. Even though I have so many more reasons, I'll just give you one last reason that helped me fall under the extremophile umbrella. The last point I'm going to bring up is my tolerance for pressure. Because I live in hydrothermal vents in the deep sea that are actually located thousands of meters underwater, I've developed this great tolerance for pressure that not all animals or humans would ever be able to withstand. Wow, that's honestly great insight to learn. I actually did not know those things about you. But one thing that I did want to know is, do you prefer extreme environments or can you just simply survive in extreme conditions? No, I definitely prefer an extreme environment. It honestly just goes back to my growth conditions. As I stated before, the temperatures that are optimal for my growth are around 88 degrees Celsius. This indicates that my enzymes are tailored to work most effectively at very high temperatures. This basically means that as the temperature decreases, my metabolic processes also start to decrease and become much less efficient. So I would much rather live in an extreme environment to optimize my growth and my health. I also rely on the abundance of sulfur compounds that are located in hydrothermal vents for energy. As the weather starts to decrease, the amount of sulfur compounds starts to decrease as well. So my metabolism is very specific to these conditions, which is why I not only can survive in extreme conditions, but I also prefer an extreme environment. Okay, you are for sure meant for the extreme environment. Another question, if I may ask, is what aspects of your biology allow for your survival in extreme environments? Well, one thing that has helped a lot is my DNA stability and repair systems. The radiation that I live in causes my DNA to break, and something that's very key for my repair system is my effective homologous recombination and my base excision repair mechanisms. Another thing that helps a lot are my enzymes and my proteins. I have the ability to resist denaturation at extremely high temperatures. I've been able to resist this due to the increase of my hydrophobic occurrences within my proteins, and also because of my folding patterns that have decreased the likelihood to unfolding. That's really interesting. I never understood or knew, in fact, that there was so much that's behind your biology that assists with you being able to live in such extreme conditions. But from your experience, what do you think your extremophile tells us about life beyond Earth? I am only one of so many extremophiles that exist in our universe. Humans have so much to understand and learn about us. The biology is endless. Not only on Earth, but this should open the eyes on the planets in our solar system that have high radiation, where if I can survive in extremely high radiated zones on Earth, what makes us say there isn't any extremophiles that are existing in our solar systems? We generally assume that living mechanisms can only survive in habitable zones, but after this interview, it's clear that living organisms can survive outside of the typical Earth-like habitats. You know what? I never really thought about it like that, but I think after this interview, it's really opened my eyes to what really could be out there in the universe. There are so many extremophiles that can survive in such heinous and harsh conditions that I really believe that they can survive in the harsh conditions that reside in our planets and our solar system. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you. Well, that concludes all the questions that I have today for this interview. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here and giving us all your insight. To the audience, we wish you a good day and take care. Bye bye.